Hello YouTube, Red Reptiles here with another video, and in today's video we're going to soak the tortoises. We're going to feed them, we're going to feed some of the animals in the reptile room. We're just going to give you guys an update and show you guys some of the things that is going on here. I also just picked up a new addition, so I want to introduce you guys to that as well. And if you notice on my head, we have a brand new Red Reptiles hat. I also made some shirts. There's going to be a limited drop in person next month at the Scales Expo, so it's kind of just like an initial test run for you guys. I also posted it on my Instagram if you guys want to go ahead and check it out there. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and let's get started. All right, so there are a few things that we need to get done today. Here we have the younger Radiated. Some of them are walking around. We're gonna go ahead and change their waters, put waters in this case, clean these out for the Aldabras. They're kind of all still sleeping. We already went ahead and put out Buster, but we're gonna go change waters, feed them. I'm actually gonna be soaking the younger Radiateds and some of the other animals that are inside. Something that I do pretty frequently, as you guys know, is very beneficial for them. So we're gonna put them in this tub first, then we'll go ahead and feed them, change their water, and we'll move on to each animal, maybe go see Goobs and Gabs and what they're doing as well as feed the iguanas and the redfoots. So the next clip, we're gonna go ahead and start soaking these tortoises. All right guys, so I hope you enjoyed that time lapse real quick. So here are the younger Radiated tortoises. Some of these are actually getting massive. So we got these two. This one right here is my oldest one. This is 11. Then we had Hopper and we had Flare. These are a little bit younger, but as you can see, they're almost about, I would say, 2-3 inches plastron length, a little bit larger than this one is. They've all been raised in the same conditions, same diets, been outside at the same time. It's just that sometimes these tortoises grow at a different pace than others. Doesn't mean that this one is unhealthy or anything. It's just that's kind of what it is. There's some theories behind this. Talking to some of my friends, and some vets have explained that it may be a pituitary gland issue, where it hasn't fully developed in this tortoise yet. That's why it hasn't kind of taken off in size yet, but eventually one day it will kind of catch up. It's just a matter of time, and obviously we are not in the rush to grow these guys fast. And then over here in the bigger tub, we got the smaller of the group, which also have, you know, grown significantly since being, you know, fully outside. They have always been outside in a tortoise table, but, you know, kind of touching the earth now, grazing on grasses, things that kind of pop up, fallen cactuses, and of course the supplementary diet of green leaf lettuce, romaine lettuce, you know, red leaf lettuce, escarole, Missouri, things like that, you know, keep them well rounded as well. So very happy with the progress of this group. I just kind of want to show you guys an update shot of these guys. Next step will be, we're going to go in here, change out their waters. So these guys have 2 water stations. They have a low saucer dish right there. As you can see, it's dirty, and they have this kind of ramped up water dish that is empty as well right now. That's because it has evaporated. As you can see, there is just some dirt there that will rinse out, but they use this as an opportunity to drink, and then this as well. But they do get more water from their foods and things like this where we soak them, because for those that don't know, soaking your tortoises is a very vital component to keeping animals, and that's just because they can get UVB and UVA exposure directly from the sun. Obviously these guys are outside, so they're always getting that, but it's kind of a more focused space as well to kind of make sure. You can also go ahead and check up on your animals, check their plastron, check their shell growth. Do they have any ticks, anything like that? And they'll also take the opportunity to pee and poop in the water, so make sure you always clean that out. But you can also kind of just monitor the way that they are pooping as well, to kind of see if they have healthy poops, which is a very important part. So this is a very long clip here. We're gonna go ahead and cut it off and move on to making the waters for these tortoises. All right, so I went ahead and filled up my bucket here, just a good old 5-gallon bucket. I use this for Missouri feeds. I also feed the lettuces out of this tub as well, but I also fill it up with water because it is a clean kind of, you know, same like cycled bucket where I use it for the animals and for the fish tank. So things that are not going to be contaminated with chemicals and stuff, I already know where this tub is. So we got the saucer dish. I kind of place it here in an area that is tucked around under roots, and that's because I want to make sure these tortoises are getting, you know, a complete surface and using the entire topography of their habitat. So we want to make sure that they're walking over the rocks, walking over the roots, the lower points, the higher points, giving them kind of some hill elevation in the back as well. I'm also going to go ahead and be planting more trees in this habitat. I want to invest in some mulberry, maybe a hibiscus, although hibiscus doesn't do so well here in South Florida. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this one out. Before anyone's like, oh, the water dishes aren't so clean, maybe you should clean out more of the dirt. We actually, in my opinion, baby tortoises too much in the sense that the water doesn't need to be exactly spotless and clean all the time. In the wild, they're not going to be encountering water dishes and, you know, clean sources of water that are filtered and completely, you know, completely clean for the animal. In my opinion, a little bit of leaves, a little bit of dirt is actually good. It's kind of giving some beneficial nutrients that's going to kind of strengthen them up. And these tortoises obviously require that because they're going to be outside. So we're going to go ahead and fill up this ditch first. I like to overflow it sometimes just to make sure that there's some water on the ground, because maybe when they come back in, they will drink out of the puddles and stuff. You can see it's kind of pooling there. And then I'll go ahead and fill up their little ramp here as well. Same concept of overflowing, and I'll do that without the other tubs as well. So what we'll do now is we'll go get some lettuce, throw it around the habitat, so when they're done soaking, they can go ahead and graze and eat something like that. All right, so we're now in the fridge in the garage. Here is my lettuce stock and my kind of greens that I feed out to the tortoises. I go to Aldi about once a week, once every week and a half to try to stock up. It is not your main staple diet, but it's kind of something that I include pretty frequently because they're still growing tortoises, so greens are a very vital component of their diet. So we got romaine lettuce. This is more for the Aldabra. It's kind of like a filler food. Same with the squash, because they also eat primarily hay, which I'll go ahead and show you guys that as well. We got green leaf lettuce. I love to feed this to the Radiateds because it's just a more, you know, nutrient dense kind of food, as well as the Boston lettuce, which is hydroponically grown. The organic spring mix is more so for the hatchlings and for the iguanas and the redfoots, because it's easy to feed out and they absolutely love it. But we'll go ahead and feed right now the Radiated some green leaf lettuce, and you guys will see that in the next clip. So I've broken down 2 packs of green leaf lettuce. This is the brand that I purchased at my local Aldi. I only feed 2 of these because obviously they're not that many tortoises and they don't need to eat as much as people actually think. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do with this is I'll place it down here in the middle of the habitat so I can go ahead and use my hands. And I usually just do this from a distance, but I'll go ahead and spread out a few piles around the habitat. As you can see, I'm not really worried about them ingesting some of the dirt and some of the rocks. Obviously we don't want them to do that too much, but a little here and there, they're not going to go ahead and ingest it on purpose. So even though they will do that in the wild sometimes. So I'll go ahead and do a toss up back there. There's enough piles spread out for the younger ones to kind of go ahead and grab it and not compete with the larger tortoises. And then the tortoises can also, you know, spread out in each pile, munch on that. They also have some cactus above them that falls down once in a while. Obviously I feed this as well. And then they're getting Missouri and other greens as well throughout their diet. I have fed these guys in the past hay. They don't necessarily love it so much, but I kind of feed that with the Missouri, where I'll blend it in to the diet and I'll give them a kind of combination of some of the hay there. So as you can see, they're actually pooping right now, which is perfect. These guys also poop there. You can see nice little healthy poops. I'll go ahead and remove them now, put them in their habitat, and they're gonna go ahead and start eating. All right, guys, so we are now in Goobs and Gab's habitat. There's leaf litter everywhere. That's just kind of the aftermath of the hurricane. I forgot to mention earlier in the video. We got very lucky where it actually didn't get much rain at all, but I had put the tortoises inside, so better safe than sorry. So now we are inside their heated shelter. Here is a nice fresh pile of Timothy hay. Not my favorite, but my local feed store is actually closing down. So what I did is I went ahead and ran over there and bought whatever they had available. Usually I go with a TNO because that is what's more commonly available at their area. But I would prefer orchard grass, which I'm gonna now be getting more of because I'm gonna be heading down to you know, the feed area, another feed store, sorry, where they have lots of orchard grass available. So right behind me is a big pile of hay, a little bit of old hay in there, but Goobs and Gabs go ahead and run that through. She's walking over right now. There's Goobs in his burrow. It's still kind of early, so he is waking up there. But they'll also get some fresh water. I'll go ahead and rake this habitat probably tomorrow. I like to do it kind of earlier in the morning where they are sleeping. And then what I'm gonna do here is just get a small handful of this hay, and we're gonna go ahead and feed it to the Aldabras and my older radiated tortoise, Victoria. All right, so here we are with Victoria. She is my large female radiated tortoise, and as you can see, she's on her feeding station, and below her, or below the camera obviously, is a nice fresh pile of that Timothy mix. There's some old T&O in there as well, but these guys are enjoying, or gonna enjoy, a pack of, or 2 packs of romaine lettuce that I am actually individually breaking up into each leaf because I find that it, you know, spreads out a lot better. The reason why I also spread it out so that I can make sure that everybody eats. The Aldabras are still kind of sleeping, waking up in the morning. I find that the radiateds are actually a lot more active in the AM and even in the early evening as well. I always see her walking around right even after sunset, which, you know, as you guys know, tortoises are crepuscular animals, meaning that they are active most at dawn and dusk. But that's just kind of maybe personality based as well with this female, who's a lot more active. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep spreading out this lettuce. I'll also spread out a pack of the Boston lettuce that's hydroponically grown, and then I also have some of that yellow squash that I'll go ahead and sprinkle over just kind of as a treat. I'll also maybe include some cactus pads to kind of spread around the habitat, and that's just because it's just kind of good for foraging as well for them. The reason why I feed on the station and over the hay is because I want to make sure that they're eating the hay. Obviously, they will nibble on it on their own, but you know, sometimes it's a little bit of an acquired taste, especially since I just switched it back to Timothy for this kind of month's feeding. I like to vary it, although that Timothy is higher in protein. It is not my favorite thing to feed, but it's just what's available sometimes, and that's what you got to give the tortoises, and it's just a good way to kind of balance out their diet. So keep in mind that these lettuces, it may not look like a lot, and that is on purpose because it is not their main diet. It is just kind of a supplement addition to what they are already eating. So I went ahead and woke up Chalice and Plato. There's Aristotle. They're gonna go ahead and make a work of this pile. These guys were hiding in that hide together. I kind of just flip it around, give them some also variation. You can see they kind of slept in that bed today, and they also have a bunch of grass and different things for them to graze on throughout the day. Like I said, I'll go ahead and sprinkle some cactus later on. We already went ahead and changed their waters as well, and there are the young radiateds eating the rest of their greens. The leopard and the Russians will also eat the grass that's in their habitat. Also sprinkle in a little bit of lettuce heads there once in a while, but they're more so just grazing on the natural grass that is growing. All right, so we are now in the reptile room for the next clip. I actually just want to go ahead and touch on that the snakes actually ate yesterday. Did not catch it on camera, but he got a jumbo rat. Benny got a large rat. We got 2 small rats and a medium mouse for the younger ball python that's right there. The iguanas are actually mostly all out. If you go ahead and see them right there, go ahead and peek through the glass. I also moved the sulcata from this tub, and we moved it in there just temporarily because these guys will eventually go to the show, and they can kind of live together as a hatchling tortoise and hatchling iguana. So the real reason I want to show you guys this clip before we go ahead and feed is this little guy right here. This is my brand new Sri Lankan star tortoise. So you guys know there's Indian star tortoises, Burmese star tortoises, Pakistani star tortoises, but this is the Sri Lankan variation. So genetically, it is the same as the Indian and the Pakistani, but it comes from a specific island in Sri Lanka. Well, the island of Sri Lanka, of course, and they're actually a little bit larger. So it is a geographical variation of this tortoise. So just a little bit more special. And yes, it is a pure Sri Lankan. I know it is not a hybridized between a Burmese or an Indian. We have traced this animal back. The breeder that I got him from is a very smart guy, very, you know, well-kept keeper and well-renowned keeper. And he went ahead and tracked down the original 7 or 6 bloodlines that were imported way back in the day from Sri Lanka when they were legally imported, not illegal, but legally. The country of Sri Lanka allowed them to be imported, and we traced back, he traced back the genetics, and this is one of the productions of that baby. So it's in his tub right here, very basic. It's gonna stay inside for a long time because these guys are very, very delicate, and they are known to have pliable shells, meaning that if you go ahead and touch it, it's soft. So we're gonna go ahead and supplement with lots of calcium, Zoomed calcium block, and some, Reptified calcium, vitamin D3, things like that, as well as soaking outside and making sure that UVB bulbs and basking bulbs are up to date, which they are in this case. So we got the Chinese box turtles. I think I'm gonna be selling these as well at the show. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and check that out. We got the beard he's gonna eat down there, and the iguanas as well with the sulcata. All right, so the Chinese box turtles will go ahead and hopefully munch on this grub mix right here. So it's just a bunch of mealworms, different kind of soldier fly larvae, a little bit of greens and veggies kind of dried up in there. It's made for chickens, but I found that these guys actually do enjoy it. Down here, we got the Beardy. She's enjoying some spring mix today. She actually got some insects yesterday, so maybe later on we'll give her a treat of some discoid roaches. The iguanas as well, a nice big pile of organic spring mix because there's a lot of them in there and I want to make sure that they are actually eating. And if you notice down there, there's a little sulcata who will go ahead and munch on that. And then last but not least, we got the SLS, so the Sri Lankan star tortoise. Super beautiful animal right here. I'm not expecting it to eat that right off the bat. I just recently picked it up, so it's still very young as well, but the person that gave it to me is trusted, and obviously I know how to take care of these tortoises, so we went ahead and took it. We're gonna very, very highly, dust their food with calcium every other feeding, just to kind of make sure that this animal is getting enough calcium, which is necessary, so like that they are not getting that pliable shell. So all these animals also get misted about twice, 3 times a day, just to give them some extra humidity. And then right here is Nemo. He is the flower horn you guys saw in that video. We'll go ahead and give him some pellets because he's due to eat as well. So go down here into the tank. If you guys will excuse me real quick, opening up this little thing, grab a few pellets, and there goes Nemo eating. He's a big hoss, big muncher right there. And if you also notice up here, we went ahead and made a banner. So this is going to be shown at the show as well, but I went ahead and hung it up above the fish tank. I think it fits perfectly in the reptile room. I also made shirts and hats. I am not expecting lots of you guys to comment on this video, but if you guys are interested in maybe purchasing merch one day, I would love to hear your feedback. And if you want to check out that merch, you can go ahead and check it out on the Instagram channel. But this is the logo. This is what is on the front of the shirt. And then the back has the social media as well. So it's kind of like what I'm wearing right here with this hat, if you can see it. And I would just love to hear your feedback. If you guys would purchase merch, I would do an online drop kind of made to order. So that'll be that. But new banner, I'm very excited about that. Incubator's also been turned off because we are no longer have any eggs in there. Anything that was in there was already hatched or it went bad. So here's everybody else. There's that star tortoise probably munching or being interested. And then we're gonna go ahead and feed the iguanas outside and wrap up the video. All right, guys, so here's Mando and Meg. They do this every time I come in here where they'll go ahead and chase each other around. He's obviously more dominant than she is, but I'll go ahead and sprinkle down some of this spring mix in the plates like that. The tortoises can also reach it, but Mando and Meg will go ahead and go eat it down there. I'll also spread some spring mix on top of that rock and also here because I want to make sure that Meg actually eats. Even though right now she's eating as we speak, she's still kind of recovering from those eggs that she laid a few months back. It took her a little bit longer this time than the first couple times, but she's a very inquisitive animal. I'm gonna go ahead and pay attention to her because she will get my fingers, not on purpose, but just as a means of, excitement kind of eating. So I'll sprinkle some in there. The tortoises will also pick on that. I'll go ahead and sprinkle some on top of that rock. She's been sleeping back there. She used to have a ledge up here, but I went ahead and removed that. We also included it here, but you guys saw that all in that video where we went ahead and redid the roof and such of this habitat. So here are the redfoots. We got a male, this is a female. There's Mando, who is gonna come and check out the tripod, which has some reds, of course. And there should be a very large yellowfoot somewhere in here. She's probably inside the hide. If we can go ahead and see it, there she is right there. So she's smelling all that spring mix. This is what these guys eat. We'll go ahead and finish off the rest right here. Maybe we'll check out Goobs and Gabs, and then we will go ahead and end the video. So here we got Goobs and Gabs. They already made some work on that pile of hay, but he's kind of just trying to breed her. I don't really focus on breeding these guys anymore. They do their thing. She laid a clutch of eggs earlier this year. We only had one successful hatch from there. And as you can see, he is very territorial. So tortoises like this need to kind of get a push down. We go ahead and fight him back a little bit. And when he can't win, he'll go ahead and run away from me. So there's Goobs, there's Gabs. We got the iguanas eating right here with all the tortoises. So you can see actually all the animals that are in this habitat are going ahead and eating. This kind of coastal grass that grows has already re-popped back up. So shortly here, I'm gonna have to trim it back down. And then we'll go ahead and check on the other tortoises and then wrap up the video. All right, so here are the Aldabras and the Radiated Victoria eating their food. We got the younger Radiateds here. They kind of already made work of that pile. And like I said, everybody else has already eaten inside. You guys went ahead and saw that, even the fish. And then we'll give you a shot of Buster as well, who I put him out early as possible just so he can get as much sunlight and kind of hanging out outside, because he absolutely enjoys that. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Subscribe, rate, comment, and like, and see you, my fellow herpers. For more content like this, please check me out on Instagram and TikTok, also at Ready Reptiles, where I go ahead and post daily pretty much there. And it's videos like this, updates of all the animals, anything you guys want to see, go ahead and recommend that as well. You can leave that in the comments, and go ahead and check out my merch. It is not a live link yet, but I want to give you guys, or I want to get your guys' opinion rather, on if you guys would purchase more of this merch and, you know, maybe other designs as well. So like I said, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and appreciate all the support always.